Hey there, everyone. It's Rod with Power Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, and interviews. Today's Tuesday, July 4th. Happy 4th of July for those in the US, and to my fellow Canadians, hope you had a great long weekend celebrating Canada Day. In this video, going to go over some bullish and bearish scenarios for Tilray Brands. We're going to be discussing the bull versus bear case, what my thesis could be here leading into the next few months and into the end of the year and then into 2024. It's a mix of fundamental and technical bull and bear scenarios. So we'll discuss all that and more here today. Before we get to it though, make sure to smash the like, help support me in the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff. You'll be notified on any future live streams or whenever I post a new video. And speaking of supporting the channel, I did hit over 500,000 views on the channel. So very, very supportive community that just continues to support and show support for me over these years. And as a way to give back, I'm going to be doing a giveaway. I've already mentioned this a couple times, but the giveaway will take place tomorrow at some point. I'll do a live stream and then I'll just pick a random winner. But essentially, it's going to be a thank you giveaway for 500,000 views, 1 gold membership to the Power Group private chat community. So it's a year membership valued at about $150. And all you have to do is click on this video. If you just go to my YouTube channel, click on videos, it's this one here, the 500K view giveaway, or you can go to community and then it'll be the first one here. You can just click on that link and then it'll bring up this video, just over 2 minutes. And then just place a comment there and I'll pick a random winner. So I'll go online, do a live stream, and best of luck to all those who enter that giveaway. And like I said, I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, all the support I've gotten along the way. But moving on, we'll take a look at the chart here. And like I said, we'll go over some bull versus bear scenarios and what we can expect. There is a bearish continuation pattern on the chart that we could potentially see on the weekly time frame. But before we get to that, there's a few other things I want to take a look at here on the daily time frame. So we'll go through some of the bull scenarios first. So on the daily time frame here, you can see here that, and I mentioned this last week, that we were talking about this in the Power Group private community, that looked like we had a bit of a bullish pattern forming as well on the daily time frame, and that was the hidden bullish RSI divergence. And we did have a bit of a wedge here as well that was breaking bullish. And if you use the real candle bodies, it actually shows up a lot better. And then you can see here that we broke bullish out of that channel. It was more of a, it's kind of a falling wedge, but more of a channel. But a lot of people were calling that a falling wedge. I wouldn't argue with you if you did say that, because it did play out quite well here. And if you take the low to the high of that move down there to where we broke out, it's saying we could potentially see about $1.83, and that's on the NASDAQ, so USD. And then beyond that, we had the bullish RSI hidden divergence. So we had this higher low, higher high pattern on the daily RSI, which was showing signs of exhaustion to the downside, and lower highs and lower lows on the price action. So when the price is trending lower with lower highs and lower lows in a downtrend, and we have an uptrend with higher lows and higher highs on the RSI, that's generally considered as hidden bullish RSI divergence. And that just means that we're oversold versus overbought, and we were starting to trend, and it's just a matter of time usually before we start to break the other way. Or conversely, if we're seeing lower highs, lower lows on the RSI, and then higher lows, higher highs on the price action, that's called hidden bearish RSI divergence, and it's likely just a matter of time before we start to trend back down, right? So it can be used in both scenarios, but in this instance, it was bullish, and that was another clue that we could potentially be breaking out. Also, something I want to mention as well is we have a gap to fill there at 217, and you can see here that's a pretty important level. We've hit that around that area, just above that $2 mark for quite some time. And if we zoom out to the monthly time frame here, we hung around there for quite a bit. Here we had a bottom at 441, and then we had the all-time low at 243. So we hung around that level quite a bit, around that mid twos. So I wouldn't be surprised if we made our way back up to the mid twos here in pretty short order. I've been on record to say that I think that there was going to be more weakness. Realistically, over the last few weeks, I've been saying that I expected more downside in crypto, or sorry, in MJ, and then I was expecting to see a massive MJ bull run after we see alt season and crypto really start to top out. That's still a thesis I'm sticking behind, but doesn't mean that we can't have some pumps along the way. I just don't think that we're going to enter a multi-year bull market on MJ until the rest of, big tech like Apple hitting new all-time highs, until we see crypto start to enter its bear market. Then I think MJ is really going to enter its multi-year bull market. And that's just because a lot of the same people trade crypto, right? The same demographic, but also the fact that MJ didn't really participate in the everything bubble of 2022 while everything was flying to all-time highs. We're seeing MJ at all-time lows and 52-week lows, whereas a lot of, tech names and crypto, they're trending back up toward their all-time highs, right? So at this point, a lot's there's a lot that could play out, but we just take it day by day with what the charts are saying. And like I said, that mid $2 area seems to be a nice area of support, but we do have that gap to fill there on the daily time frame that I'll be looking at for 217. And another way to play it too would be to play a monthly the monthly inside bar here that could potentially break bullish. So we have resistance at 183, and well, the market was closed today in the US because of July 4th, holiday, Independence Day. But if we break 183, this could be a nice trade opportunity on Tilray. You could go long, and just to the EMA and next price action, you're looking at about a 55% swing opportunity. So if you're looking for a potential swing, that could be a nice trade opportunity as well. But again, not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. You have to make your own decisions. And I'll never tell you to buy, sell, or hold, but that could be a nice opportunity to go off of that and then play off of 150 psychological. Set your stop below 150. At this point, we're quite higher than that support, so a little bit more risk now. But if you got it closer to that 150 psychological, like I said, that was a clear stop level. And then maybe you could set a stop buy if we break 183, right? If we break above, say, 180, 190, or 189, if we get above that, set a stop buy and then look to play a 40-50% swing. But anywhere along these levels, I mean, from February 2021 highs, we are now down almost 98%, right? So at this point, we can expect a bottom to be close, but there's a few things that we need to do before we can be confident that the bottom is in. And again, this is sort of the point of this video, is to lay out some of those bull and bear scenarios. But in terms of the weekly time frame, we do have a bear flag on watch as well. That's what I meant earlier with the bearish continuation pattern that we're looking for. We have the high, low, and then a lower high is forming here. So anything under that 0.382 fib at 193 is a potential for a lower high and a potential for a weekly bear flag. In order to negate that bear flag and to remain bullish, again, thinking of the bullish scenario, we need to get over 193 USD because it's on the NASDAQ. So if we break 193, then that would negate it, right? So that would be the bull scenario. And then if we take a look at TLRY on the TSX, you can see here that anything under 256 Canadian is a weekly bear flag. So that 0.32 fib is sitting there at 256. So if we break above that, then we'll negate it. But in order to confirm the bear flag, we need to lose 197, and that will confirm it. And then the target is 144 Canadian. And then on Tilray US, we're looking at about 111 if confirmed. So in order to confirm it on the US side, we need to lose 150. But in order to negate it, we need to lose 193. Also, something else that I wanted to mention is CGC's massive bounce. So from Friday's close to the shortened day yesterday, it was up about 64% from Friday's low. It actually closed over 52% on the day. And this is something I've been on record to say for the last few days as well, as I'm expecting massive capitulation moves to the downside, hard and fast drops with barely any resistance. And then when we see a V-shaped recovery or a massive aggressive buy the dip opportunity and scenario, that's when we can start to expect bottoms and long-term bottoms being set. And the fact that that happened on CGC, I just did a video on it yesterday. You can check it out. If you haven't seen that, I highly encourage you to check that video. It's got almost 1,000 views. Why was Canopy stock up so much? And that's what we want to see, getting close to a long-term multi-year bear market. And when could we potentially be seeing a long-term bottom being set? That's what we want to see, is massive moves like this in a daily time frame, right? When we're up 64% on a shortened day, mind you, and it was the most shares traded in the NASDAQ history on the daily time frame, and it could easily set weekly and monthly records for the most volume as well, which is great because usually volume precedes price, right? But this is what we want to see near a bottom, is just this massive capitulation move. Like in a couple of weeks, we were down on CGC, we were down 70%, and then it just scales tipped, and then we were up, boom, up 64% basically in very, very short order, less than 2 days. So this is what we want to see near a bottom. And then we also have some massive catalysts upcoming, right? We have safe banking that could see a vote after the Independence Day recess. So realistically, any week now, HHS could come back with a verdict for rescheduling or even descheduling. We could see potential legalization of medical in the US. We know Ukraine is talking about legalizing medical as well. We could see Florida on the ballot in 2024. We also have the 2024 elections, which I did a video on that as well, that RFK Jr. pledges legalization, at least decriminalization, and then supporting psychedelics as well. So again, we could start to see more candidates start to use MJ as a way to sway voters. And then also the MJ Act is up for review here in Canada. So we're going through a consultation period at the moment. We could see some developments or some progress with regards to easing of restrictions and regulations, whether it be, with regards to how many grams you can buy at a certain purchase, or the limits with regards to each individual package. There's only 10 milligrams allowed to buy in each edible. So that could be upped as well. We know that they just increased the drink minimum from, I think it was from about 5 or 6 of the small cans, and now you can buy like 70 of them, right? So we're starting to see more and more progress with regards to easing of restrictions and regulations here in Canada. And then couple that with the broader market strength. The broader market has been very strong, the S&P 500. And then we should, in my opinion, start to continue to see, there's even a weekly bull flag on Tesla, which says it could potentially hit a new all-time high. And then Congress still yet to be banned from owning stocks is why I think that we could still see some broader market strength and some more upside leading into the end of the year. And then we could even see some euphoria and some great news with regards to Bitcoin spot ETF getting approved. There's lots of bullish momentum right now in that sector as well. And again, that will be good for MJ, right? We'll have tailwinds versus headwinds. And then, like I said, once tech and crypto really starts to top out, then I think we're going to see massive upside and a potential multi-year bull market start for MJ. Not to say that we can't go down with the broader market initially, but I think it'll recover quicker and it would be one of the best performing, if not the best performing class and industry leading into 2024 and beyond. But in terms of bear cases, well, it's very obvious. This weekly bear flag is the number one. So this is the biggest culprit here for the bear case scenario. So we have the high, low, and then lower high forming. Anything under, like I said, 193 is a potential weekly bear flag. So to negate it, we need to get over 193. So if we get over 193, okay, crisis averted. We're likely heading back up toward resistance there at around 264, which would potentially fill that gap around 217. But if we can't get above 193, then we'll be looking for it to confirm. And in order to confirm, we need to lose 150 USD. And then if we take the measured move from the high to the low, move it out to the 0.302 fib level, then you can see here our measured move is looking at about $1.11 there on Tilray. But again, don't hate the messenger, just hate the message, because I'm just relaying what the charts are saying, and the charts are saying the message is we could potentially see more downside. But again, no need to panic unless we lose 150. We lose 150, could be another buying opportunity as we target that 111 measured move. But beyond that, we're multiple months away from confirming monthly uptrends and golden crosses in the sector. Some names are closer than others, but again, I've been saying for a while now that we need to see it across the sector, right? US operators, Canadian operators, retailers, ETFs. We need monthly uptrends to confirm. We haven't even started the monthly bounce yet. So we still need that monthly higher low and higher high to be confident that the monthly uptrend is set and that the bottom is now in, right? That's what we're going to need for long-term bottoms being set. But it's great to see CGC's bounce there, aggressive bounce to the upside. And then, like I said, on the Toronto Stock Exchange, we're well below the 50-day, and the 50-day is well below the 200. So it's a while yet before we see the 50 and the 200-day cross. Even on the USD side, on the NASDAQ, it looks like we're multiple months away. So that is adding to more of the bear case, right? The fact that it could be at least a couple of months before we start to see some major momentum shifting and be confident that the bottom is in, right? We still need to start the monthly bounce, form a higher low and higher high. So we're at least 3 months away, bare minimum, in my opinion, before we're confident of saying that the absolute bottom is set and that we're potentially entering a new multi-year bull market. And then beyond that, NASDAQ, share price warning and reverse split. A lot of people ask me, could Tilray suffer the same fate as a lot of the other LPs? I don't think so. We'd still have to drop below $1. And even with this weekly bear flag target, it's still targeting only 111. And at that point, we'd probably be very, very close to monthly oversold. We'd definitely be weekly oversold. We came very close to hitting weekly oversold. And this could be our bottom that we're looking for. Another indication is weekly oversold potential. But I really can't see us getting delisted or having to reverse split, because even with this weekly bear flag, if it confirmed, if we lose 150 and confirm it, it's still only 111. And then we have to lose $1 and remain under $1 for 30 trading days, which is a long time. And then they would get the NASDAQ warning, and then they would have 180 days, so 6 months to regain compliance, which is just 10 days above $1, 10 trading days above $1 thereafter, right? So I really can't see it happening. And with all the catalysts that are upcoming, I think it'll just organically, even if it dips below, it won't be the end of the world. It'll have to stay below for 30 days. And then just organically, I think there'll be enough catalysts to propel us higher. It'd be at least, another 7-8 months before they would have to reverse split, right? Or potentially risk get delisting. But I really don't see that happening, for those of you that are wondering. But beyond that, LPs going insolvent could be another bearish scenario as well. So we've been seeing fire and flower. There's been multiple reports that there's hundreds of millions of unpaid excise taxes to the federal government here in Canada. Just producers aren't able to keep up, right? Mom and pop shops with the retailers, they're going to be continuing to drop off like flies as well. I mean, fire and flower here in Canada is going through insolvency and creditor protection. So there's a lot of saturation in the retail market as well. So I expect, the big companies, but also the mom and pop shops to continue to just fall by the wayside. And then whether it be bankruptcy or an insolvency, I think that's going to be a trend that continues. So that'll add to the bearish momentum. And then there's over 1,000 LPs right now in Canada. So we don't need that many producers. And then that would be a nice segue into more M&A, right? So, and usually, and even Tilray has said that it's looking at more M&A. They did a $150 million convertible debt offering. And that basically they refinanced some debt, and they were able to preserve their cash, right? And then a lot of speculation was, why are you saving that? Why didn't you dip into your $400 million in cash? And they said, because of strategic opportunities and accretive mergers and acquisitions. So this could be some foreshadowing and a little bit of a clue that Tilray could be going through more M&A, and that would usually be bearish for the acquirer. The acquiree usually sees a bump in price, and then the acquirer usually drops. So in this case, it would be Tilray, the acquirer. If they acquired somebody else, they would be the acquiree. So usually that would be more downside for Tilray as well. And then we'll see CGC potentially getting a NASDAQ warning. It's got to go through another, I think, 4 days of trading before it gets its warning, but then it has 180 days and 6 months, right? So that could add some more bearish momentum. And then there's also some oversupply issues here in Canada with regards to just too many grams and too much MJ for Canadians, right? So we're seeing that's oversupply issue, which is really starting to hurt as well. But we should start to see more, like I said, more of the smaller companies, more of the small cap names start to drop off, and then you got Tilray, Afria, Redecan, Hexo, this big conglomerate that's just going to stand the test of time, in my opinion. But we're starting to look good on Tilray. Toronto Stock Exchange ticker, we're looking pretty good. We're starting to see the MACD start to curl. Very close to seeing a bull cross there. Stochastic already crossed bullish. Now we just need a couple of weekly candles over that 10-week moving average there at 257. And then if we take a look at the US side, we're closing in on the 10-week moving average there at 191. We're seeing a bull cross on the stochastic and very close to seeing one on the MACD on the weekly time frame as well. So like I said, if we can get a couple candle closes over 191 on the weekly, it's looking like all systems go at this point. But we have nothing nearby until 293 on the 50 weekly. And you can see here, ever since we came back down from $67 and the February 2021 highs, we've been unable to get above that 50 weekly moving average. So if we can see preferably three, but at least 2 weekly candle closes. We never actually did. We got almost very, very close here back in November of 2022, the end of 2022. And then we ended up upper wicking above it and then closed well below it. So we haven't closed a weekly candle yet above that 50 weekly. So if you're wondering what's going to send us up to $5 and beyond, I'm looking at a weekly candle close over that 50 weekly moving average there at 293 could easily send it. All right, going to end it there. It's Rod with Power Group. Thanks again for joining us in the Pursuit of Wealth. Let me know your bull and bear thesis and scenarios in the comments below. We'll continue the conversation there. Let me know if you agree with me, disagree with me. I always love encouraging thoughtful discourse, and we can always, we don't have to agree with everything, but if you don't agree, we can also approach it in a adult manner, and you can persuade me, you can give me your scenario and your thoughts, and then we can have a discussion about it. And that's what it's all about. All right, going to end it there. Hope you have a great night. We'll see you on the next video.